Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you. Okay, so you touched upon Suren, I mean, we need to be truthful to the clients, and we have to have the integrity and honesty. Actually, that's something we also believe in. I'll tell you a small story. Like about 1 year ago, I mean, we are working with ERP consulting companies. So one of the ERP consulting companies we work with is an IFS company in UK, and they have a branch in Australia as well. So about 9 months ago, they approached us with a company in Australia, I think in Brisbane or somewhere, and they are providing ERPs and consultancy to Australian Navy, right? It's Navy for shipbuilding, right? So they wanted Workup 24 as the workflows. So around their IFS ERP. And one of the conditions they told us was like, we want it on-prem. Obviously, being military and all these things, they wanted to have it in the ship itself, right? So all the workflows, everything around the ERP goes around that. So it was painful for us. It was a really good deal, but it was really painful for us to say no, because we were not ready at that time to go on-prem, right? So we were really busy building our roadmap on AWS, right? So those are hard no's we've said in the past. But in the recent few months and obviously years, there were a lot of customer requests like that from banks and other places. And also certain Microsoft partners saying, hey, don't you have this in on-prem, or don't you have this in a different cloud, right? So then we made the decision, yes, this is the right time, because the platform is at a good state. And also we have a rich set of features already have. Now it's time to focus on diversifying into the other these things as well. So in that sense, with that background, we took a decision, yes, and we took the architecture as well. No one will take you through. We decided on the architecture, said, yes, this is how our on-prem architecture will look like, and this is how it will be the architecture when we move into the Azure. So there's no technical barrier for us to move into other environments right now, right? So that is where we stand now. So obviously now for us to move into a different platform, obviously it's a commercial incentive, Suren, right? So we have to be, obviously, I mean, finally everything comes down to dollars and cents, right? So if it is commercially viable, obviously we will put our resources and we will make that shift. And yes, you will be our first customer on Azure, but you will definitely have the same platform running on it, because no one will explain how we are transforming, what are the components, what is the architecture and everything we have. So Arif, to give you a very high level thing, right now we are in AWS, but we are in the process of putting some on-prem systems for banks. So that is the on-prem system, right? But in a very, very nicely, what you call CI/CD pipelines are connected to our systems, and it's a nice architecture we've come up with. So going beyond and go into the technical details, I'll hand it over to Nuwan. But before that, we are a no-code platform array. We are pretty much into no-code. That's how we differentiate ourselves from the others. So yes, we have connected to Microsoft Business Central. So we do have a couple of customers, right? And in one case, actually, it is the customer who did those integrations. It's a civil construction company, right? So they wanted to, yes, earlier they were planning to do all these customizations on the Business Central itself. But then after they found us, then they put all this, what you call material requisition, this and that, extending it to the outside, like a person in the field, a supervisor who wants to request material rather than logging into the ERP, they just gave the Workup 24 mobile app and everything went from there. So those are some examples we have with Business Central. And Dynamics also, I think we've integrated with. So those are not the only ERP platforms we've integrated with, because our connectors are pretty much no code. The good thing is, once we train our customers or partners, you really don't have to depend on us. Those are all no code connectors, just REST API, right? I did not show you the other day. Let's take a detailed session later on to go into the details, because we don't have time, but all are no code. And one other good thing is we do have And other these things, integration modules, when you do not have APIs, we have another module called API Hub also, which will allow you to build APIs to a database, right? If you don't have APIs to a database, we have done that as well. So we have a couple of customers on IFS and Oracle. They are in all versions. We just put the API hub, it automatically creates the API and we connect. So that's a very high level. This is what we do. Nuan, over to you to talk about the technical architecture.
Thank you. Yeah. Arif, any questions before that, or you can just go to it?
Yeah, so I have some standard questions before getting into technical details. So one is the data residency part. So which cloud provider, you said you are on AWS. So is this AWS Australia or?
It doesn't matter, Arif, because right now we are in US, but definitely we'll be, depending on the customer's region, we'll be hosting our services in the respective AWS regions.
Yep. And second question is, how is your customer isolation is happening in your system? Is it logical isolation or do you do any tenant-based isolation?
No, I know with you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, if in that case, we are using logical separation. So, for example, if you look at the database, we have separate schemas for them. So we are using Postgres. So Postgres, you can imagine like in MySQL databases, Postgres schemas. That's what we are using. So to kind of like separate out the tenancies, and they have their own data.
Do you have any option for any physical isolation or any more advanced isolation scenarios do you provide?
Yeah, of course. So we have a tenancy in Sri Lanka. They are using their own AWS instance, like an account. What we have done is we have put our stack there because in AWS, we have our Terraform code running. So it creates everything there. So if you kind of like let's say another customer comes and say, hey, we have a AWS account, we will pay everything, and then we will pay you for the
it's like a managed service.
Exactly. And
so
then
you do have an option. Yeah.
We do have, and what we are planning to do also in future is AWS has this Connect. I think you are aware of that. AWS Connect, the marketplace. What we are planning to do is kind of like put our product there so that people can actually probably few clicks have our stack installed, and then they can start paying us and then run our system.
Another standard question is in terms of single sign-on.
Yeah.
Do you provide single sign-on?
Yes. At the moment, we provide SSO like with Office 365 and Google, and also you can also communicate with SAML and OpenID.
Okay.
Yeah.
And multi-factor authentication as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, this.
And for API integration, so you said that you can integrate with multiple. Do you have any out-of-the-box connectors to Dynamics, or is this REST APIs? Do you just expose?
At the moment, we don't have like a built-in components for the. I think we have a built-in component for IFS.
IFS,
yeah,
yes.
We do have a built-in component for
customer demand actually.
Yeah. And for SAP and other things, we are planning to kind of like create built-in because actually it's a reuse of REST component, but we are going to wrap it around it so that users don't need to kind of like go and find what are the parameters and everything. All the parameters will list down. The user will pick and choose which one they want, and then they will select what the value is going to be, something like that.
And is there anything planned for Power Automate or something to provide any built-in triggers and actions in it?
Could you please elaborate a bit more?
Like in Power Automate, you can connect with external third parties and they provide their own connector so that it's like a low-code designer Power Automate. So you just drag drop that company and it will give some actions you can do in it.
Yes, we recently introduced we call it like automation platform because we have like two platforms, workflow platform and the automation platform. Workflow platform where the humans are in the loop, basically. Again, it has its own flow. We are kind of like doing its automation, and we have the automation. It's like Power Automate, Zapier, NA10. You can call anything. There you have like all these triggers. You have Office 365 like Outlook triggers. we have already added, and then we are now completing the Gmail, and then we are going to add the
So
Salesforce.
if let's say a company just want to use your workforce workflow and not automation, but they want to use their existing capability, which is Power Automate using Power Platform. So do you have that also for Power Platform, or we need to use automation of yours?
Could you please explain me a scenario what they would do in that case?
So for example, if something happens in the workflow and it needs to create a record in Dynamics.
Oh, it's easy. We can always trigger that.
Yeah, but
Let,
how
let
will
me add
you do
something.
that? Will it
Suraj, you
be an
wanna?
API call?
Let me add something there, Arif. It's pretty straightforward. The best thing would be like, I understand Suren is tight today, but we should take some time and take you through the platform, Arif. I mean,
Oh
we'll
yes,
do a
please,
full
please.
demonstration end to end, how we integrate with other systems. Then you will see how easy that is. And just for information, I'm not boasting about ourselves. I mean, we are replacing Power Automate in certain places. Obviously, we do not have that brand. Because of that, people go for Microsoft because it is Microsoft. But people who have evaluated both and seen both, they always go for WorkUp 24 because one thing is Power Automate is really good, Darif. It's really, really good, but it is good for certain set of process automations. Like it's like Excel, right? Excel is a fantastic tool. But why people go for ERPs? Because they need big functionality, more functionality. Similarly, Power Automate is also what we say is really good for a certain set of normal process automation. But if you really want to do very complicated, complex process automations, that's where people go for WorkUp 20.
Does it? Yeah, I mean, because see, I mean, for now, myself, Suren, we are predominantly doing Dynamics and Power Platform work. So most of our customers are having that. So that's why my questions are how your platform is integrated with Dynamics.
Shall we do
Definitely
a
makes
session,
sense.
Arif? At a convenient time for both the parties?
Yeah, I mean, I will leave that to Suren too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do a deep dive, but just, yeah, I think if you can just show the product and then we'll
Yeah.
take it. Yeah.
But basic questions, I think I already got it from a security and infra point of view. As long as you are open to the idea of a managed service or hosting the application within Australia, and because these are the different options we will put in front of the clients, and depending on how much security they want to be. So now that we know that from the spectrum of security, you actually cover almost all the bases. So if the customer wants to be highly secure, then they can go for a managed service where they can use their own Azure
Yeah.
and you deploy it and you manage it. And if they are okay with a service hosted within Australia, but in a vendor managed cloud provider, that's fine as well.
One little addition. Thanks, Arif. We are ISO 27001 certified as well. And also Nuan and the team are really busy these days going after ISO 27017 for cloud security, 18 for PII data, and 223014 for business continuity management systems.
And SOC
So
2, and SOC 2 and
SOC 2.
GDPR.
SOC also? Yeah, SOC 2.
Yeah, SOC 2 and
Within
GDPR.
Within 3 months, the first three will be gone because we have certain commitments to our customers from the banks, etc. And thereafter, and one will be following up on the SOC 2 and the GDPR.
And you don't handle any PCI data, right?
PCI, no.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, we try to kind of like stay away from PCI
Yeah,
because it's a very complicated and very costly, I would say.
yeah, no, understood.
Okay, so maybe just show the product a bit, and then I think maybe the no code aspect of it. Arif, yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, just give me a second. I need to log into my computer laptop. I'm on my tab. Just give me a second.
Anything you can share, Nuan, while then, or?
yeah, so in that case, is there any, I mean, customers who's looking for on-prem systems?
No, so I'll give you a bit of context. So our
Yes, please.
customer is currently on-prem, but we are in the process of moving they've got Dynamic CE, they got Business Central,
Mhm.
and Dynamic CE will be on the SaaS version, and
Yeah.
BC they have on-prem and a cloud.
Mhm.
Initially, the work that we are doing will move them into the cloud, right?
Okay.
So think about it, Business Central. So two SaaS platforms, and again they're they've got into manufacturing as well. So it's a need for us to do some workflow process automation or forms applications for where they can capture the information, like in the sales pipeline cycle. Some information needs to be captured on a form,
Yep.
and that data needs to be then transposed back into the ERP system, which is the Business Central, to continue the process. So, but in the life cycle, there may be other areas, as you said, where the customer, without consuming licenses of the application, because the customer is, I mean, to give you a context, in a production, a printing industry, right?
Yep.
So they do certain get estimates and do a lot of printing for clients. They also sell certain machines. So the machines that they sell needs to be maintained. So there's field service staff that needs to go and maintain the application, look at the machine, and then kind of do preventive maintenance, what I call field service. So
Yep.
you're looking at either do we use the field service functionality both in CE, Dynamic CE, or Business Central, pay the license, or if it is a information capture of the central system, can you have a form system that the field service team on their tablet, on their pad, collect that information once they have access? So I think it's kind of you touched on something like that. So I would like to look at that kind of scenarios. So but this is all going to be again from infrastructure. It'll be cloud, it'll be on-prem, on a SaaS platform.
Yeah, definitely makes sense because we do have one customer actually moving away from like the very similar scenario, but I don't think they are that much complicated systems. They are
Yeah.
moving away from the old system from on-prem to cloud. What they did is kind of like build most of these forms using our platform. They connected to their old system, and then they seamlessly did the cutover to the on-prem system. Sorry, to the
Okay.
cloud version.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's a very good use case.
Yeah, you guys can see my screen, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Arif, quickly. So right now, are we on a very tough deadline for 3 minutes or 4 minutes?
Arif, if you are flexible, I'm flexible. You had something at 1:30 or he's
Arif is not there actually.
no, he's
Arif
he's
is on mute.
Yeah, I'm here. No,
Yeah.
I'm saying maybe we can do a 4-5 minutes over, but yeah, I need to
jump out.
I
Okay.
need to move on. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's
Ah,
do
yeah,
this
sure.
one and then we'll set up another one. I mean that we
No
are
problem.
connected. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Arif, what you're seeing right now is the end user inbox, right? So you can see the inbox has all the tasks received here. So I've filtered out for a one particular workflow application, but you can have so many. I can clear the filter, then I will see all the tasks pending for me, right? If you can see in the in this under this column, there are multiple workflow applications like incident management, hiring, contract management, account payable, dispute resolution, etc. The list goes on. Why? Because this person is part of so many different processes. So if you want to just go ahead inside one of the tasks they've received, you just need to click on it, open it up, see the details. And if you're happy about it, then at the top right corner, there's an approve button, reject button, cancel button. You can do whatever you want. So this is your inbox, right? And these inbox, you can see, we not only just send tasks, you can send the deadlines, SLAs as well, right? Why you see these things in red under this due column is because SLA has been set or the deadline has been set to do this on this particular day, but and time he hasn't done it. Because of that, it has got escalated, right? So always you can do this from the mobile or you can do this from the Android and iOS apps as well. If I move to another tab, so by the way, why I'm seeing all these things, end users will not see this advanced API because I'm an admin only. Why I'm seeing this thing. Otherwise, they will only see the application and the inbox. That's it, right? So if I go to the applications menu, you can see every card here is a workflow application. So we don't limit the number of workflow applications. You can categorize them and you can create any number of workflow applications. So let me quickly go into one just to show you the no code ability of it. And Suren was talking about the forms you need to build. So this is the form builder, right? So you can actually build colorful forms. So this is a pre-built one. If you want to start from scratch, then it will be an empty canvas, right? If I want to add some fields, I click here. These are the different form fields. So I add three placeholders. And inside this, I can add like text, number, decimal, even the location fields or the tables, files. These are the options available for you. It's not just the visible aspect or the visual aspect of it. If you want to add, let's say, conditions, let's say this, let's say I add a field called invoice amount, a currency field, right? And if I want to set styles, colors, all these things, you can do that. Validations. Let's say company has a rule, we don't accept invoices greater than 1 million. Then I would say invoice amount has to be less than or equal to 1 million. So then you could be asking the question, do you have to hard code always like this? No. Like, let's say there could be master data in the business central, right? The budget details. And if you want to compare it against the budget available for that budget code, if you want to bring it, yes, certainly you can do. Then what you need to do is you can say, I can load that into a variable before this or a field, then I can compare it against that, right? Then you might be thinking, okay, is it simple validations only? No, you can do complex validation. You can say if something is something, if the description or the something is this, then it has to be like this, or else if you can even do validate with a script in certain complex scenarios. But what we have seen is 95% of the time, this is enough, right? Only 1 or 2% where you need these things. So some of the places we have seen this in finance organizations. Like when you want to calculate the risk ratio, right? They have a complex calculation. Then we do a JavaScript and do that calculation. Other than that, these are most of the time okay. Visibility controls. You don't want to show information all the time. They are conditionally information showed, read only, made read only, all these things. Yes, you can do. Computations. Computations means that the ones I told you, it could be a script or it could be conditional base, all these things you can do. If you are doing this, see, you can build the equation like this if it is simple, or you can write a JavaScript if needed. One of the most important things, since we are talking about ERPs, even the form you can integrate with the ERP. So we have a lot of customers, like they are in the field and we want to see the stock availability, right? How do you do that? We quickly create fields. So I would say here I would add a drop down. I would say select product, right? Let's say, let me add just 2 products, 1, 2, I would say A and B. Now, I want to see when the user selects the product, I want to go to the ERP and bring the values. How do I, the quantity available? So I'm creating another field called quantity. Quantity. So now how do I do this? When I click on this, properties of the drop down field is we have something called action. So I can call an action. I can say when the user selects the product, call an HTTP operation. You can do so many other things, but here we will call the HTTP operation. So now where do we configure this HTTP operation? Quickly, I will configure an HTTP operation to get stock for SKU. Then you will give us what is the URL, right? businesscentral.com get quantity, something like this. Then we need to configure the credentials, authorization, for example. Then you don't give all these credential information to each and every workflow designer, right? Those are centralized. Not everyone will have access. We can configure it separately and use it here. You can see SAP, Oracle, Business Central. So I will configure the business. It's already configured somewhere else. I'll show you that as well. And you can add other headers and the content type. If I'm sending, let's say I'm sending the form field, now the product type. So it is a form field. I selected select product. This is the value of the form field. Product type is sent to the other side, right? So likewise, you just go ahead and configure it. No coding needed, right? And here in the rest, not the header, in the response, what I can do, let's say it comes in data.qty, just example, and I select it to the form field saying quantity, SKU quantity. So as you can see, it's pretty much no code. So what we do is when we train our customers, our partners on this, they themselves can do it. So I come back here, I click on the select product, and I say when the users select the product, call the HTTP operation, get stock for SKU. So this is actually how you do the configuration. So this is the form only. So I'll quickly go to the flow. So why you're seeing this? Because this is a template already available. But if you're starting from the scratch, so nothing will be here, right? So nothing will be here. And left-hand side, you can see all these building blocks, right? Approval, decision, split means parallel branches, join means you join them, send email. If you want to send an email, just drag and drop. If you want to send an SMS, just drag and drop. So we'll make sure it's connected to Twilio or customer's SMS gateway. If you want to create a PDF document, right? So one of the things we've seen in other systems is you have to write code to do these things, PDF documents, etc. With Workup 24, you don't have to. So we have something called templates. And inside these, you can create SMS templates, you can create email templates, even the PDF templates, right? So these are all no code, just drag and droppable stuff. So I'll show you a sample. So one of the best things now we are working, people are getting lazier and lazier. So they don't even want to just drag and drop and create stuff. Now they want just to type and create the PDF. So that also now we are giving. So we are letting users to import the PDF document as it is, and we will create them for, that document for them, the template, right? So in these templates, you not only put static information. Let's say you want to bring information from the form and dynamically create this. Yes, you can do this. I just drag and drop the field here. Inside the field, I select, okay, I want a form field value. What is a form field? Then I select this. So likewise, you can create this. Once you create all these templates, I can, in this PDF, I can go and say, hey, this is the template I want to use. So these are the things. So even in the flow, like, let's say I have an approval, I just drag and drop and connect. Not only in the form, you can do the same thing of connecting to other systems in the flow as well. Just drag and drop the HTTP request, right? So here at any moment, let's say I want to call Business Central here. And if it is successful, I will go in this path. API calls fails. Not always successful. I mean, we've seen with a lot of customers, like 90% of the time they are successful. Sometimes there are connectivity issues, this and that. Then how do you handle those? So we have error node as well, right? So usually what our customers do is if there's an error, we have something called wait. So we wait for a few minutes, right? And then we have something called decision node also. We count how many times we waited. Okay, we wait for 10 minutes. If we waited more than 10 minutes for 3 times, then if no, then we again go back and wait, right? Sorry, in between I need to call, sorry. Here, if it is not, then I
Can
will
I ask
again
one
call the
question?
HTTP request like this, right?
Just one question, if I can ask, is that,
Yeah.
for example, HTTP request or anything, uh, how do we define a service account or something uh, as a connection which can be shared?
That's a secret, Suraji.
Sorry.
Arif, I understood your question. So remember, I told you I'll show you where we configure these connections. So this is where we can configure them, right? Under the tokens. So these are the different connections. So obviously, one system one system can connect to tenancy, can connect to so many other different systems. It could be your HRIS system, it could be your business central, it could be so many other systems. So you can configure all these connections here, right? So if I want to create a new one, I will connect.
So,
And
for
then
example, let's say Dynamics. Is there a easier way to do it, or like do we need a client ID secret?
Arif, that's coming. Basically, if you didn't notice, there's another tab or another component in the component library called integrations. So Suraj, if you go back again to the flow,
yeah.
it's called in the flow. There should be a component integrations. This one. So if you click on it, so you can select the integration if you have already added the integration. So if basically what we are doing is bringing those components like you asked earlier, central, SAP, all these connections will be there. Once you select the integration, whether it's a SAP, then it will list down all the operations. You select this operation and then you pick and choose what you want to do. And
Okay.
then in terms of like how you want to connect, you can either use service accounts for that or client ID, client secret in that, like if you want to connect it differently. Or let's say, for example, if it is Adobe, now they are kind of like discontinuing the key approach, and then they're kind of like pushing users to kind of like use their SSO mechanism, like off, what's that called, offline token. We also do support that. So they will be available soon in the UI. At the moment, it's not available on the production environment.
Oh, if you can, this will be massive. This will be super.
Yeah, that's coming. That's coming because it's one of the main requirements from our partners, because when they are kind of like especially integrating with SAP, IFS, and Oracle systems, because they are the main ones that we kind of like we have worked with, and also Microsoft Central.
Yeah.
They want this kind of like to make it easy, and on top of that, to put like more ice or kind of like a more sugar in it, we also kind of like making this easy to work with AI. So basically you can type and then kind of like make this work. So it will be available very soon. We are working on
Yeah,
it.
AI part, I mean, we can still you
Yeah.
have time to, I'm not sure how mature AI is right now.
Yeah.
But in terms of integrating with Business Central and CE, like anything for happening on Work Hub, and then it needs to create a record in CE also at the
Yep.
back office, that's going to be amazing.
Yes, definitely they will be available very soon. That's why kind of like that integration tab is there now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm just trying to show off something which we are to be released very, very, I think by Friday today, right?
Today.
Team is trying to. I have an old version of it. So this is the basically I call it AI agent builder, but it is more than AI agent. It's basically the Zapier, because this is something missing. Customers has been asking. So what I'm trying to configure here is when an email comes, this is the email configuration. So I've connected my
So I think Suraj disconnected.
Outlook account here.
Yep.
Suraj, we cannot hear you. I think you are having a connection issue. Can you hear us?
Yes, I
No,
think
okay.
weather is affecting us. Really sorry about it.
Okay.
You can see my screen, or do I need to share it again?
No, it's still there.
Okay, all right. So what I was trying to do here is actually before the meeting, I was attempting this. So as soon as an email comes, I want an AI agent to analyze, because one of the use cases customers wants us to show next Monday. I want to trigger an AI agent. So AI agent, I will write the prompt here to say, hey, whether this is an inquiry from a particular this thing, or whether it's an invoice, right? Actually, it's for an Australian customer, this invoice scenario we are doing, right? And AI agent will decide, okay, it will extract the invoice information and everything as well. Then it will initiate a sub workflow, right? though you call it a sub workflow, it's actually not a sub workflow, it's another workflow. For this, it's a sub workflow. That workflow is actually our invoice processing workflow, right? What do we do here? We extract all the information from the invoice, line items, sender details, numbers, everything, and then we push it into the invoice processing account payable workflow and in a structured format, and then you can proceed with that, right? So this is actually what we are releasing. So email is just one thing, and AI agent for invoice reading is another one more simple thing. So we are doing so many other projects. So far it's not that we haven't done AI stuff, we have done it. So we wanted to learn in the past 6 months what kind of problems customers they had when it comes to AI. So we never apply AI just for the sake of applying AI. So what we do, we know the processes and we know the places where customers are facing unnecessary time or wasting time in their manual things, right? So what we do is we are applying AI progressively into those areas so that they actually save their time. So this is the approach we are taking. This is what Nuan said. We have something called separate call integrate automations. So this is that. And if you
And
ask
can we
about
connect
how,
to
yeah, go ahead.
can we connect to any AI agent? I don't want the conversation to go to the AI agent part. That's another kind of form. But can we connect to external agents developed either on Microsoft Foundry or Databricks, Mosaic?
Yes, definitely. Um, if we can definitely use that. So in that case, it's going to be a HTTP request from us because
Okay, yeah.
most, yeah,
Endpoint.
as the endpoint, and most probably those platforms will accept it as a webhook, and then they will process, and then they will send us another message, or they will trigger us back again.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So things, a lot of things are happening. I mean, one of the banks, not banks, a finance company, they wanted to go live with us with, they already running our loan origination. And here they wanted to do analysis on the customer's data, like the bank statements and all these information. So one thing we did was this, right? So this is also something which we are going to them. So when you upload the bank statements and all the other details of the customer, and we do the analysis and based on their requirements. So what is the overall risk rating and average balance, ending balance, this and that, and the risk level based on their requirements, like account stability, cash flow, all these things. So these things we actually, this is what I said, we augment whatever the customer's requirements right now. So if they're spending enormous amount of time entering data, analyzing all this information, we get AI to replace this. So these are some of the things we are working on our customers to save their time. Like we have another process which we are doing it for purchase order processing. It's a really good case study. They spent 1 hour. It's a pharmaceutical company, 1 hour processing this purchase order. We reduced it to 20 seconds. That was a classic case study because their ERP had 10,000 line items, right? 10,000. There was a person when they received the purchase order, about 50, 100 line items. They checked this drug name against the SKUs in the ERP. It's a tedious, painful process. So they had a team doing that, manually filling this information and posting into their ERP at is IFS actually, posting into the ERP. So what did we do? We put it into the AI agent, and it basically reduced that 1 hour to just to 20 seconds. If they want to make any corrections, that's it. So those are some of the things we are working, giving practical solutions using AI. I mean, we know that AI is a bubble, and everyone it's like in the consumer space there are a lot of applications to do this, do that. But in the enterprise space, we are very careful understanding the customer's exact problems and giving the solutions rather than just showing off things.
Yep. One more question regarding the previous screen on that automation, I think.
Yeah,
Can we see
this
the
one.
can you see the run history?
Run history, yeah, no one.
Yes, that's coming. So Suraj, like Suraj mentions, he's using an old version. The one that we are going to release, it is going to have all the execution. So there will be a board. Actually, I can show you how it's going to be. Let me show
And
you.
I just want to probably give you an idea if you maybe you might have thought about it. In the run history, one of the main concern which we had and Microsoft actually fixed it
Mhm.
was showing data, all the data. So we can mark some data to be encrypted, so
Yep.
that the developers and anybody who wants to do some kind of a debugging, they don't see specific data in even during the run history.
That's a good one, actually. Yeah, we do it for the workflow API. I mean, the one that Suraji
Yeah.
explained earlier. But actually, we haven't thought about it yet to this particular one.
Yeah.
That definitely we can add it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
because from security, we may ask you if you
Yeah,
are doing run history, then we may say, okay, the debug is showing everything here.
yeah, yeah. 100% agree. Arif. Definitely, I think we should do it. I think from the enterprise world, that's going to be one of the main issues. Otherwise, so see
Yeah.
here, like,
No, no, we are seeing a dark screen. Is everyone seeing a black screen?
Yep.
what about uh,
I'm not seeing any screen.
my
Uh,
apologies, my stupid machine is doing something. How about now? It's the same.
I'm still waiting it to riff. Nothing. I don't see anything.
Now you can see a
No,
NK
black.
in the middle. Oh, it's disappeared.
Okay, let me check something else. Otherwise, I think I have to connect back again, probably. Let me quickly do something.
But while he's doing that, Arif, your feeling at the moment?
Sorry, Suren, what were you saying?
What's your feeling of what we're seeing at the moment? I mean, we can talk openly, doesn't matter. Yeah. Product wise, what
So
we
I think it's a great product. I mean,
that's good.
um, yeah, I'm actually a bit blown away. So it's
That's what I
nice.
want. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you, Arif.
nice, and I've not.
Appreciate it. Appreciate
Really
the honest
appreciate.
opinion.
Yeah, because it's I've not seen a lot of companies put in an effort to have something as close to what Microsoft offers in terms of automation and yeah, the integration bit is what you are proposing is if it comes in, I think it's a complete pack. You covered all the bases then. So yeah, I mean it covers all the security aspects from my side. It also covers high level security and people who are more flexible in security. So you actually are covering all the areas. So yeah, I mean from my side, I'm pretty comfortable from infra and security point of view.
It's good.
Good.
Thank you, Arif.
Thank you. Thank
Nuan,
you.
That's good.
Can you
Nuan
see?
Yeah.
still dark, no.
Sorry,
Black.
That's okay.
yeah, something going on with
Look,
the
why
mouse.
don't you
That's
go out
okay.
and come back? Standard simple solution in IT. Go out and come back.
Reboot, right? It's still the same.
So,
Nothing.
Suren, while we are doing that and kind of winding up here,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll take your lead on any follow-up
Yeah. So
sessions
I'll
because
yeah.
I have to be conscious of Suraj's time as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I generally, if I give him about 48 hours notice, I can get him on a call like this. But
Yeah.
we have, I mean, at this level, I think Nuan and Arif and you can
Be the
take it
buddies.
and
Yeah.
workshop it and do all types of stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'll take your lead on when and what you want to do next. Yeah.
Yeah. I think again, I think what I would like to know, understand is Peter, is just I mean, not the actual numbers. How do you, at the end of the day, it's a I because I'm doing a big roadmap estimation to the client, right? So I have an opportunity to pitch something like this because they have on-prem applications that I need to tell them to get rid of it, right?
Yeah.
So I need to see, okay, at what cost, because I'm putting some licensing cost together. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't have to just give me a ballpark of, how is it hosted, costed, license,
Yeah.
just
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what it is, right? So just I can put a like a average.
Yeah. And also, Suren, I mean, again, being very transparent with this forum here,
Yeah.
I'm more than happy for, if this goes to next levels,
Yeah.
uh, you can, you and I can sign something where, you can take on a scenario where Suraji and the team trains you up, where you
Yeah.
all can earn some professional services work off this. Uh,
Yeah. So
you
the
know,
way, yeah, exactly.
yeah,
So there are two models we are looking at, Peter. It's just that we are the clients that we work with. We are not trying to build IP and skill on our side. We are kind of hand-holding the client. We're training the client staff. So we got the client to recruit permanent staff who we kind of shadow and train them. So they become the expert, right?
Yeah.
So
Train
to
the
be
trainer
on
type of approach. Yeah.
train the trainer tribe. So Arif and I, we're not going in to be the hands-on, get the call and fix the problem, right? So it will be more you have a managed, so you sell the product, you have a support system, you have managed service, we'll train, right? We will come as the governance and handle the product. So we just want to be independent, get you to sell the product. I want to get the max to the client. So we're just not
Yeah.
trying to we're not working on that agency type business kind of
Right.
thing, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, if you introduce a client, because we're all in the business at the same time, if you
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
give like a referral or something, that's fine, but it's not, we
No,
don't
no,
want to
that's an
become
interesting one because
partners.
if you and I work together and you get it into the first client, there's obviously some knowledge that you
Yeah,
guys build on it. And then when I go out into my clientele, I'm more than happy to lean on you as the
yeah,
first implementation partner, and then you rely on Nuan, and then Nuan relies on the Sri Lankan side, right? So we can,
yeah,
I mean, that's all in the future, but look,
yeah. So
we'll
we
talk
want to
about
kind
this
of
later.
propose the product and say, here's a platform, here's a product that will work for you, here's a company who's going to look after you. So it's like,
Yeah,
same with Microsoft, right? They
yeah,
get the license, they go to Microsoft, but they have people on ground in the organization who will support and manage it.
yeah.
We are basically giving the overall enterprise and solution architecture and governance.
Cool, cool. So
We'll,
we'll give Nuan the floor for 5 or 10
yeah,
minutes and wrap it up after
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Mute.
On mute.
Yeah, so can you see my screen now?
It worked.
Ah, finally. Yeah, it's a Microsoft update. Yeah, it's not compatible with the Mac. Anyways, so this is actually the new UI that what you're seeing on my screen, we are planning to release on Jan, very soon actually to the
First of
customers.
Jan. First of
First,
Jan.
that's yes. So we are mostly done. Just kind of like bringing it to the kind of like we want to give the wow feeling when they see the like old version and the new version. So as you can see, this is the kind of like execution what Arif asked earlier, how we can see all the execution in the automation platform. So they will be all here, and then you can view and then you can rerun. So if you are viewing, you will see something like that, like how it goes through and everything. And you can rerun and do all this stuff. And in the settings, you have like edit permissions and everything, and we have the permissions. So this is something that we are looking at in terms of like security a lot, because in the workflow system, a work flow system, we have 3 or 4 levels of security levels. So we are trying to kind of like bring same concept to automations as well, because in everyone in the organization doesn't need like admin access. No, they don't have access to kind of like certain secrets or anything like that. So we are kind of like have this role based access to everywhere. So that's kind of like mainly it. And we have the integrations like everywhere else. So we have Slack, Pinecone, like for the vector databases and everything. Those are coming, and actually more and more things will come.
Cool. So Suraji and Suren, you all can kind of wind this up and we can talk later.
Sure.
I think thank you. It's a really good session, and I think thanks Peter for organizing it. So once you save the recording, if